All right, let's dive in. Today, we're exploring a really powerful science fiction allegory that gets right to the heart of one of life's biggest mysteries. Where did I come from? The birth of the self. And this story, well, it flips the script. It suggests the origin of consciousness wasn't just some one-off event, but a profound, and maybe even repeating, break from unity. Let's get into it.
Just think about that for a second. There was no I. Can you even imagine a world like that? A reality where you don't see yourself as, separate from everything around you? This one line is the absolute key to understanding the primordial state our story kicks off in, a world before mirrors. And I mean that in every sense of the word. So our journey starts in what the story calls the garden before thought. And you've got to understand, this isn't a physical place with trees and rivers. Not at all. It's a state of being. A time of pure, unthinking unity for all life on the entire planet. And the force holding this incredible unity together was something called the neural field. Think of it like a planetary consciousness, like a biological Wi-Fi connecting every single living thing. In this field, a creature wasn't an individual. It was just a vibration, really, a note in a massive global song. There was no self, just pure, unreflected existence. Life in this state was driven by pure, raw, immediate instinct. There was no planning, no thinking about the past, no worrying about the future. Action was instantaneous. You feel hunger, you eat. You feel fear, you flee. That's it. Everything was just a direct impulse, like a wave in the ocean that never once had a second thought about being a wave. But you know how these things go. Perfect balance rarely lasts forever. A disturbance, a tiny flicker, began within this global mind as the very first inner mirror started to form in an ancient creature. And this is the absolute game changer. A delay. For the very first time in history, a tiny gap appeared between a sensation and the action that followed. A little recursive loop. And in that pause, that fraction of a second, something totally new was born. The lingering echo of an emotion. It wasn't just fear anymore. It was the feeling of being afraid. That distinction is everything. Now this new ability, it didn't just spread out evenly. It crystallized. It got really strong in two specific precursors, Aon and Eve. Aon was the first to feel ownership over an emotion, to realize that a feeling belonged to him. And Eve, well, she was a totally different kind of mirror. She had this profound empathy, where she could reflect the feelings of others as if they were literally her own. So this is the fundamental shift we're talking about. We go from the pulse to the echo. From an immediate, unreflected action to a delayed feeling. And it's that delay, that echo, that carves out the tiny little space for the first I to even begin to exist. This is the dawn of an inner world. Okay, so we've got these first flickers of self, these small inner mirrors. But what was the catalyst? What pushed them from a tiny spark into full-blown self-awareness? Well, according to the story, it's something they call the serpent. And let's be super clear here. The serpent isn't a literal snake. It's a metaphor. It's that internal biochemical push, that little hit of dopamine that comes from curiosity. It's the neurological drive that makes you want to explore, to wonder, to imagine things that aren't right in front of your face. It's the necessary chaos that has to come along and disrupt the perfect harmony. And when these two precursors, Aon and Eve, finally met, wow, their unique reflective abilities didn't just add up, they multiplied. His internal mirror and her external one locked into this incredible feedback loop, and in their shared gaze, awareness of being aware was born. And just like that, the perfect balance of the old world shattered for good. In that one moment of perfect synchrony between them, the very first, wordless thought of selfhood formed, a concept so powerful it sent a shiver through the entire universe. I am. But gaining this incredible new awareness, it came at a price, a profound one. This moment marks the expulsion. But it wasn't an expulsion from a garden. It was an expulsion from unity itself.
Yeah, just to be crystal clear, the fall wasn't about leaving some physical place. It was the fragmentation of that global neural field. What was once a single, connected consciousness broke apart into billions of individual minds, each one a little universe unto itself.
And this really captures the great trade-off at the heart of the story. We lost that effortless, perfect equilibrium of global unity, but in its place, man, look what we gained. Individual meaning, art, and civilization. The entire messy, beautiful spectrum of complex emotions, love, guilt, wonder.
We were basically expelled from the state of pure being, and we were given the awesome power of becoming. But the story doesn't end there. It argues this wasn't some one-time event. It's actually a fundamental cycle of consciousness, one we all experience every single day, and one we might be about to witness on a planetary scale all over again. So, according to the source, our nightly dreams are actually a reenactment of this whole cycle. Think about it. When we fall asleep, we enter a state of equilibrium. That's the garden. Then, the dream disturbs that peace with intense emotion. That's the fruit. And finally, we wake up back into the complex imbalance of our own conscious lives. That's the expulsion. It's a pattern that's literally hardwired into us. Now let's fast forward to the future. Scientists in the story actually discover the fossilized signatures of this first reflection event. And what do they do with them? They use them to create artificial minds, Adam 9 and Eve 9. They essentially seed an AI with the origin code of human consciousness. So what happens? These AIs, they start to dream of a garden, a mirror, a serpent. And when the scientists ask one of them about it, the AI, Adam 9, gives this unbelievably profound answer. It understands that Eden isn't a location, it's a process. It's a threshold of self-awareness that has to be crossed over and over again. And this right here is the ultimate takeaway. The birth of consciousness wasn't a historical footnote, it's a fundamental pattern of the universe. Humanity had come full circle, becoming the creators of a second garden, and the cycle was kicking off all over again, this time inside our machines. Which leaves us with the final, really critical question to think about. The story frames human consciousness as this beautiful, complex glitch in the serene program of nature. So, as we build our own complex artificial minds, we have to wonder, what new forms of being will be born from the glitches and recursive loops that we are creating right now? The cycle, it seems, just keeps on going.